Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ian John, and I'm a defensive attorney here to represent Mother Gothel. She was wrongly accused of kidnapping Rapunzel when in fact she believed she was adopting Rapunzel. Mother Gothel was not able to have kids, but desperately wanted to become a mother, hence Mother Gothel. She visited an adoptive kid adoption agency and fell in love with a beautiful little girl with long blonde hair. The adoption agency followed necessary procedures, and Mother Gothel's dreams finally came true. I have a statement here from the Adopted Kid Adoption Agency. We found Rapunzel in the forest, and she looked very malnourished and lonely. So we had checked for missing documents around the town and various towns, but we couldn't find any. Rapunzel had beautiful blonde, long hair, and she seemed like she desperately needed a family. And we took her back to her headquarters outside of the kingdom. Various families came and wanted to have Rapunzel, but one mother stuck out, or one potential mother stuck out. Her name was Mother Gothel. She also lived in the forest, and she seemed like she was the most fit mother who could provide for Rapunzel, and she had stable means. She lived in an environment that would support family, specifically a girl with long blonde hair, with magical long blonde hair. And when they met, they had a motherly daughter love that seemed to be the best of all. They instantly connected, and we decided it was best for them to be together. So we took necessary procedures to make sure that this was lawful. First, we inspected her house twice. The first time was scheduled because we wanted to make sure that everyone was ready, and the second time was random to make sure that they weren't ready. So we knew that the environment was placid for a child to live in. But due to our procedures, we usually waited about a month until missing documents came in, just in case Rapunzel was lost hours before we found her. And a month came, and there were still no missing documents of Rapunzel. So we thought it would be best for her to stay with Mother Gothel. And yeah.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I called a representative from the Adopted Kid Agency to come answer some questions for the company. What characteristics did you see in Mother Gothel that would think made her a great mother?
When we first met Mother Gothel, we noticed that she was very caring and affectionate, and there just seemed to be this loving glow that surrounded her.
Interesting. How thorough was your search to make sure Rapunzel wasn't a missing child?
We took all the standard protocols necessary, which includes calling the police and the priest, and we also waited a month to make sure that nobody was looking for her.
Okay. How thorough was your inspection of Mother Gothel's house?
We checked every nook and cranny, and for the first inspection, we told her what time and the date that we'd be there, but for the second one, it was very random. Her house was tucked away in this nice nature nest, and it just seemed the perfect place to protect Rapunzel and her magic hair.
Interesting. Where are your adopted kid headquarters?
Our headquarters are located just outside the kingdom, which is just far enough away that we don't have much contact with them.
Well, thank you for your cooperation on behalf of your agency.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
I have Mother Gothel here with me to answer some questions. Did you know that Rapunzel was a princess when you adopted her?
No, I knew Rapunzel was special by her beautiful magic hair, but I had no idea she was royalty. I adopted her when she was just over 2, so she was too young, and I raised her as my own. I don't know how any parents would let this beautiful child just wander alone in the woods.
I agree. Why did you choose to live so secluded from the rest of the world?
Well, I grew up in the nature in the house that I'm living in right now, and I wanted my daughter to have the same experiences that I did.
Makes sense. Why didn't you see any of the missing reports about Rapunzel's parents issue?
Well, I don't agree with technology because I believe it corrupts the mind, so I don't have a television. And we live just far enough away from the kingdom that we don't really receive any messages from them.
Did you have any family members that could take care of Rapunzel in case of emergency?
I have a very extensive family that's all very close, and many of my family members have actually adopted children as well.
So what made you want to adopt in the first place?
Well, I'm a single woman, and I don't believe I need a man, but I do love kids, and I've always wanted a daughter.
And what are your means of acquiring income?
Well, I have a large family inheritance that's capable of supporting me and Rapunzel for the rest of both of our long lives.
Okay. Well, thank you for your cooperation too. And let's get on. In closing, Mother Gothel should be found innocent of kidnapping in this court of law. She did her best to adopt an orphan girl and raised her as her own. She had no way of knowing Rapunzel was a princess. If anyone's at fault, it should be the adopted kid adoption agency. That generated a great deal of publicity because of Rapunzel's parents' royal status. The townspeople were belligerent in expressing their anger and hate towards her. So she received multiple death threats, and there are several Supreme Court cases that support Mother Gothel's innocence. The first case is Shepherd versus Maxwell. This case involves an unfair trial due to pre-trial publicity. Mother Gothel is being accused by a king and a queen. They have made a huge scene, and Gothel has been judged harshly before any verdict has been made. Because of prejudicial publicity, the jurors' minds were made before the trial even started. The second case is Miranda versus Arizona. In this case, the defendant was not informed of the right to consult with the attorney before and during questioning by the police. Gothel should not be prosecuted by the police officers, twisting her words. The third case is Abrams versus U.S. This case involves the Espionage Act, which prohibits spying. The king and the queen used royal sources to spy on Mother Gothel and Rapunzel in Gothel's house in the woods. This is illegal. The fourth case is Cass versus U.S. In this case, the court ruled that the Fourth Amendment protected private conversations. Mother Gothel's phone records were made public, which allowed for Rapunzel to be discovered. The fifth case is Wolf versus Colorado. In this case, the court ruled that illegally obtained evidence was eligible in some cases and ineligible in others. In Mother Gothel's case, any evidence that suggests she kidnapped Rapunzel is ineligible because it was discovered through spying on her. The sixth case is Gitler versus New York. This case involves a court ruling that forbids both speech and publication. They have a tendency to result in action dangerous to an individual's security. Nasty statements were made verbally and in print about Mother Gothel. The individuals who made these statements suggest to have harmed Mother Gothel. This is obviously illegal. The seventh case is Fletcher versus Peck. In this case, a Maine acquired a piece of land that did not truly belong to him. He later sold this land with legal documentation. Because of the documentation, the sale was official. Because there was illegal documentation of the adoption between the adopted kid and Mother Gothel, the adoption is valid. The final case is Matt versus Ohio, which deals with illegal search and seizures. The police did not have a warrant to authorize them to search Mother Gothel's home. The defense rests this case. Hold on. Hold on, Bailey. The police did not have as the